She stood at her front door at 6:45 in the morning, keys in hand, coat half buttoned, coffee going cold on the counter behind her. And every single day for 11 years, she walked out of that door the same way, unprepared, unaware, and unknowingly blocking the very thing she had been working herself to exhaustion to receive. I know this because she is the woman who came to me 3 years ago and said, "Rabbi, I have done everything right. I budget, I pray, I give to charity. I show up. Why does it feel like the door to my financial life is permanently sealed?" She did not know the answer was in the door she had been walking through every morning without a second thought. My name is Rabbi Naomi, and I have spent over 30 years studying the ancient wealth principles embedded inside Jewish law and Kabbalistic tradition. Texts that most people never encounter outside the yeshiva walls. Wisdom that was passed to me by my grandfather, who carried it through 3 generations of economic survival that had no business being survivable. What I teach is not motivation, it is not manifestation, it is ancient technology, precise, documented, and tested across centuries. And what I am about to share with you today is one of the most overlooked wealth laws in the entire tradition. Not because it is obscure, because it is hiding in plain sight, at the threshold of your home, every single morning. You have been told that your financial life is a money problem. More income, better budgeting, smarter investing. And those things are not wrong, but they are operating on the wrong layer. The reason your effort has not produced what it should has nothing to do with how hard you are working. It has everything to do with what you are leaving behind every morning before you even step into the world. Stay with me to the very end of this teaching. What I am going to walk you through has a specific sequence, and if you miss even one piece, the knowledge is incomplete, and it will not produce the result. Before we go any further, I want you to type the words, "Open the gate," in the comments right now. Do it before we go on. When you declare something publicly, you create a spiritual alignment with the intention you are about to receive. Type it now and let us begin. There is a reason your financial life has a ceiling, and you cannot seem to reach through it, no matter what you do. Most people assume the ceiling is made of circumstance, the economy, their education, their family, their industry. And I understand why they think that, because circumstance is visible and the real cause is not. I have watched people spend decades rearranging the furniture of their financial lives and wondering why the room still feels the same. They switch jobs, they start a side business, they download a budget app and color-code their spending categories. They listen to audiobooks about wealth and take notes in the margins. I am not dismissing any of this. These are not foolish efforts. But they are addressing the shadow of the problem, not the problem itself. The ancient teachers understood something that modern financial science is only beginning to approach through the language of psychology and behavioral economics, though they have not reached the depth of it yet. They understood that your financial life is not a bank account, it is a vessel. And a vessel must be in a certain condition to hold and multiply what flows into it. If the vessel has a crack, a spiritual misalignment, an unacknowledged blockage, a daily behavior that signals to the spiritual realm that you are not prepared to receive, then what flows in will also flow out. You can pour all you want into a cracked vessel. You will always end up wondering where the water went. The Talmud does not speak about this in the language of metaphor. It speaks about it as law, as operating reality. There is a reason the Jewish people have maintained economic resilience across exile, persecution, and circumstances that should have produced nothing but poverty. The reason is not intelligence alone. It is not industriousness alone. It is a set of encoded daily practices, precise behaviors at specific moments, that align the vessel with abundance before the day has even begun. And the first of these, the one almost nobody talks about outside the tradition, governs what happens at the threshold of your home. Let me show you exactly how I first came to understand this, and what changed when I began applying it with intention. I was 29 years old. It was a January morning in Jerusalem, cold in the particular way Jerusalem gets cold, dry and sharp, the air carrying the smell of stone. I had been married for 2 years. My husband and I were building something from almost nothing, and the pressure of that was sitting on my chest in a way I did not have language for yet. I was visiting my grandfather for the Shabbat, and I arrived at his apartment on a Friday afternoon, a little earlier than expected. I let myself in. He did not hear me come through the door, and I stood there in the entryway for a moment, watching him without him knowing. He was standing at his mezuzah, right hand touching it, lips moving. Not rushing, not distracted. Fully present, as if nothing else in the world existed for those 20 seconds. There was a stillness in the room that I have never quite forgotten. Later that evening, I asked him what he had been doing. He looked at me the way he always did when he was about to say something he considered important. A slight pause before the words, as if he was weighing them. He said, "Naomi, every time I cross this threshold, I am making a declaration. I'm reminding myself and reminding heaven what this home is aligned with. I'm not simply walking out into the world. I'm going out as an emissary of this intention. The world receives you according to the frequency you carry when you leave. If you leave with your mind already scattered, already in the noise and the worry and the to-do list, you have already forfeited the first and most powerful moment of the day." I did not apply what he told me immediately. I will be honest about that. I understood it intellectually, but I did not take it seriously as a practice. There was too much else to manage. Weeks passed, then months. We were going through a particularly lean season, a contract that fell through, a savings account that was draining faster than we could refill it, and a growing quiet frustration between my husband and me that neither of us was naming out loud yet. And I remember standing at our own apartment door one Tuesday morning, late, rushed, already in my head about 3 things at once, and I suddenly heard my grandfather's voice as clearly as if he was standing next to me. "The world receives you according to the frequency you carry when you leave." I stopped. I put my hand on the mezuzah, and for the first time, I actually said the words slowly, with full attention, with intention in my body, not just my mouth. I am not going to tell you that the contract came back the next morning. That is not how this works, and I will not insult you by framing it that way. What I will tell you is that within 3 weeks, something had shifted in the quality of my interactions. A conversation happened that would not have happened. An introduction was made that produced a result over the following 2 months that covered what we had lost, and a little more. My grandfather said to me the following Shabbat, after I told him what had shifted, "The gate does not fly open, it unlocks, and then you push." Now I want to go deeper into the actual mechanics of this, what the tradition teaches about the threshold of the home, why this moment holds the weight it does, and precisely what you are meant to do with it. Because what I shared in my story is the beginning. The full practice has 3 components, and if you apply only one, you are leaving 2/3 of the law on the table. The Hebrew word that governs this teaching is mezuzah. But I'm not only talking about the physical object on your doorpost, as important as that is. I'm talking about the entire concept of the threshold as a moment of spiritual and financial alignment. In Kabbalistic thought, the doorway of a home is not simply an architectural feature. It is a boundary between 2 realities. Inside your home is your kingdom, the space you govern, the space you set the intention for. Outside is the world, the marketplace, the relationships, the opportunities, the tests. And the moment you cross from one into the other is one of the most energetically charged moments of your day. Most people throw it away. They are already in the noise before they reach the street, and that noise is what the world receives. The first component of the threshold practice is the declaration. Not a prayer in the formal sense, though prayer is not wrong here. A declaration is a statement of alignment. What are you going out as? The ancient teachers were precise about this. You are not going out as a person chasing money. You are going out as a vessel positioned to receive. The distinction matters more than it sounds. A person chasing money leads with scarcity, the energy of lack, of pursuit, of something outside yourself that you do not yet have. A vessel positioned to receive leads with readiness, the posture that what is meant for you already exists and you are moving toward the meeting point. You cannot hold those two postures simultaneously. Every morning, whether you know it or not, you are choosing one of them. The threshold is where the choice becomes formal. The declaration does not need to be long. It can be as simple as, I go out today as a channel of provision. What belongs to my household will find me. I am aligned. I am ready. I am grateful for what is already in motion. Speak it with your right hand touching your mezuzah or your doorpost if you do not yet have a mezuzah. Speak it slowly enough that each word lands in your body, not just your mind. This is not casual. This is contract language between you and the spiritual reality you are choosing to operate in. The second component is the review. Before you cross the threshold, you pause for 20 seconds, no longer, and you ask yourself one question. What am I carrying? Not physically, spiritually. What emotional frequency am I about to bring into the world today? If the answer is anxiety, distraction, resentment, scarcity thinking, the tradition is clear that this is the behavior of someone who has not yet prepared their vessel. You are about to walk into the marketplace carrying a leaking bucket. Everything you pour into it throughout the day will drain out before you get home. The review is the moment where you catch this before it costs you. You name what you are carrying. You set it down consciously, not repressing it, not denying it, but choosing not to carry it as your primary frequency into the day. This is what the Psalms were encoded to help with, not as decoration, as a technology of inner state management, written by a man who understood financial reality as well as spiritual reality, a king who had known both poverty and abundance and documented what moved between them. The third component is what the tradition calls tsave, the specific intention of the day. You name, before you leave, one specific thing you are believing for in the day ahead. Not a general hope, a specific expectation of goodness. A specific financial conversation you are believing will open. A specific contact you are expecting to hear from. A specific door you believe is about to move. This is not wishful thinking. This is an act of spiritual navigation. The ancient teachers understood that the mind that has no specific target absorbs the noise of the world instead. And the noise of the world is, overwhelmingly, the frequency of scarcity. A vessel that is not pointed at something specific will fill with whatever ambient frequency surrounds it. You cannot afford that. Every morning, at the door, you set the specific intention. You hold it with certainty, not desperation. And you walk out. These three components, the declaration, the review, and the specific intention, constitute the full threshold practice. Declaration: what you are going out as. Review: what you are choosing not to carry. Tsave: what specific goodness you are moving toward today. This is not a spiritual exercise you perform because it feels nice. It is a daily financial act. It is the calibration of the instrument before the work begins. A musician does not walk onto the stage and begin playing without first tuning their instrument. The stage may be beautiful, the audience may be waiting, the notes may be ready in the musician's memory. None of that matters if the instrument is out of tune. Every morning you are the instrument. The threshold is the tuning moment. And most people are walking onto the stage every single day without tuning. Begin this practice tomorrow morning. Not next week. Not when things slow down. Tomorrow morning. Set your alarm 3 minutes earlier if you need to. Stand at your door. Right hand on the mezuzah or the doorpost. Speak the declaration. Pause for the review. Name the specific intention. And then walk out. Give it 21 days of consistent application before you evaluate the result. You are not looking for a windfall at the end of week 1. You are looking for signs of life, unexpected financial movement, an unusual phone call, a moment of unusual clarity about a problem you have been circling for months, a conversation that opens a door you did not expect. These are the first fruits of the practice. Notice them. Name them. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. Coincidences in this tradition are simply answered intentions that the logical mind has not yet accepted. What I have given you today is one practice, and it is a real practice. If you apply it with consistency and intention, you will feel the shift within 3 weeks. But I want to be honest with you about what one practice can and cannot do, because that honesty is part of the tradition I carry. 1 brick is real. 1 brick is a beginning. But 1 brick is not the house. The full architecture of what the ancient teachers encoded for wealth alignment covers the threshold practice, the language laws, what you speak about money inside your home, and the specific words the tradition says must never be spoken at a financial table. The Shabbat alignment protocol that the sages taught had the power to set the financial frequency for the entire following week. And the vessel repair work that addresses the specific spiritual causes of financial stagnation that most people have been sitting inside for years without knowing it. All of this is inside the complete teaching I have built, called The Wealth Laws of the Threshold. It is not a collection of tips. It is the architectural plan. If you are serious about making a permanent shift, not a 1-week experiment, but a fundamental change in the frequency of your financial life, the link is in the description below. Everything you need to take the next step is there. Now let me tell you what to expect in the next 24 to 48 hours after you begin this practice. Because most people make a mistake in this window that undoes the work before it has time to root. In the first day or 2, you may feel a quiet shift, a lightness, a moment of unexpected positivity. These are real. Do not dismiss them and do not over-celebrate them. Just notice them with gratitude and continue the practice. But here is what the tradition is very specific about. After the first movement, a test arrives, almost without exception. A bill that feels larger than expected. A financial conversation that does not go the way you hoped. A deal that tightens when you thought it was opening. This is not evidence that the practice has failed. This is what the ancient teachers called the test of the vessel. The spiritual mechanics asking one question before the gate opens fully. Do you actually believe this? Or do you only believe it when it is easy? Most people fail this test, not because they are weak, because no one told them it was coming. Now you know. When the test arrives, and it will, stay in the posture of the declaration. Do not speak death over your own breakthrough. Do not say, I knew this wouldn't work. Do not retreat into the scarcity frequency you were working to leave behind. Hold your position. Speak the declaration again. Acknowledge the first fruits that already came, and trust that the gate that is unlocking does not re-lock simply because the test has appeared. You are being asked to stay in certainty. That is the entire test. What you receive today is ancient. It is precise. And it has been working in the lives of families who applied it consistently for more generations than I can count. Take it seriously. If what I shared today reached something real inside you, type "Open the gate" in the comments right now. I read every single comment, and I am specifically looking for the names of the people who take action. Your comment is your declaration. Make it. Next week, I'm going to reveal the specific words the ancient teachers say must never be spoken inside your home if you want the wealth frequency to hold. And one phrase that most households say every single day, without knowing it, is working against everything they are praying for. If you are not subscribed with the notification bell on, you will miss it. And based on what I know about where you are right now in your financial life, you cannot afford to miss it. Subscribe now and press the bell. And if what I shared today reached you, if it clarified something, confirmed something, or shifted something inside you, press the like button. It tells the platform that this wisdom matters, and it places this teaching in front of someone else who is silently sitting at their door every morning, already exhausted, already trying, already ready to hear exactly what you just heard. May every threshold you cross from this day forward be a gate of blessing. May your vessel be whole, your intention be clear, and the frequency you carry into the world be one that the world can only respond to with abundance. Go with clarity. Go with certainty. Shalom.